What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Keaton, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Link is in the box below. Third mock draft of the season, as I describe where I think each player goes and why I think they fit with those teams. So it's not wasting more time. This is my third round mock draft. With the first overall pick in this year's draft, the Chicago Bears will be selecting quarterback Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. Don't need to go much into detail. We pretty much know he's going to go number one here with this pick as Justin Fields gets ready to get traded to wherever team he goes to. With the second overall pick, the Washington Commanders will be selecting quarterback Drake May out of North Carolina. I think this is a no-brainer. I think your 1 and 2 will be Caleb Williams, Drake May. He has the size to be an NFL-ready quarterback, and I think he fits in well to what the Commanders have. Cliff Kingsbury there as coach and all that stuff. So Drake May will be the quarterback for the future for the Commanders. With the third overall pick, the New England Patriots will be selecting quarterback Jaden Daniels out of LSU. They need a quarterback here. Obviously, they just got rid of Mac Jones. They're not going to go into the year with Bailey Zappi as their quarterback. So you get Jaden Daniels, a dynamic quarterback, electrifying quarterback, and you continue to build around Jaden Daniels. Don't make the same mistake twice by not, putting pieces around him. You got the pieces around him to be successful. So I like this pick for the Patriots as they continue with the rebuild here. With the fourth overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals will be selecting wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. Pretty much another no-brainer pick. This gives Kyler Murray another target to throw the ball down the field and rely upon in late game situations. Marvin Harrison's really good on the sidelines, and Kyler Murray is also known to throw to the sidelines. So this is a great pickup for Marvin Harrison Jr. as he will elevate this Cardinals team to the next level here and potentially a playoff team if things continue to progress for them in the draft and free agency. With the fifth overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers will be selecting wide receiver Roman Dunze, wide receiver out of Washington. I like this pick here for the Chargers. It gives Justin Herbert another deep threat, another reliable target to rely upon in games, something Justin Herbert hasn't had in his career. Why not get a dynamic wide receiver in Roman Dunze who can obviously take this Chargers team to another level and give more production to that offense? With the sixth overall pick, the New York Giants will be selecting wide receiver Malik Neighbors out of LSU. You could make the argument they could go offensive tackle here because they were one of the worst teams in the league last year, ranked 30th in that area. But they haven't had a playmaker. They really don't have any playmakers on offense. And no, you just gave Daniel Jones a long-term contract last offseason. Why not surround him with more weapons on the outside? I mean, it's the only way to go for the Giants. Obviously, Giants fans would agree with this. Get a dynamic wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, who has the speed, who's pretty much balanced offensively and will make the Giants even better on that side. So he brings another dynamic to that offense, the Giants. So I like that pick there for the Giants at pick 6. With the 7th pick, the Tennessee Titans will be selecting tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. This pick makes a lot of sense for the Tennessee Titans. If you want to keep Will Levis upright, if you want to keep him playing for a long time, then give him some help on the O-line. I mean, he took a lot of hits, especially towards the end of the year last year. Give Joe Alt to the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Will Levis would really appreciate his services as he's one of the best tackles coming out of college going into the NFL draft here. So I like this pick for the Titans there at pick 7. With pick number 8, the Atlanta Falcons will be selecting edge rusher Dallas Turner out of Alabama. This pick makes a lot of sense to me. Dallas Turner just has Falcons written all over him, just his fit. He's definitely the best edge rusher in this class, in my opinion. The Atlanta Falcons obviously are going to take the best edge rusher in Dallas Turner as he will make that defense even better, that more scary. So you take edge rusher and Dallas Turner there, and they will trade for Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields, whatever the case is there. And that's the scenario. I think the Falcons will go there. So they take edge rusher Dallas Turner with the 8th pick. With the 9th pick here, the Chicago Bears, and this may surprise a little bit of people, Nobody's really talking about this, but I really like Dallas. I really like the Chicago Bears going with tackle Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. Hear me out on this, okay? There's a lot of mock drafts that I've watched where people have this pick being a receiver. I completely understand going with Roman Dunze or Malik Neighbors with this pick, or maybe Brock Bowers to give another 1-2 punch with him and Cole Kmet. But at the end of the day, Caleb Williams is a rookie. And what's the most important thing for a rookie quarterback? Getting him the protection on the O-line. Nobody's talking about that. Olufashanu is one of the best tackles in this draft. Caleb Williams would really appreciate having him on the offensive line to give him time to give him time to throw football down the field. So this pick makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I think Olufashanu fits tremendously with the Chicago Bears. You could make an argument. You could go edge rusher and maybe Dallas Turner if he follows this pick, or even Jared Verse. But I think offensive tackle is the best move for the Chicago Bears, in my opinion. So I like this pick for the Bears at pick 9 to give Caleb Williams the protection that he needs. With the 10th pick, the New York Jets will be selecting tackle Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. Obviously, like I said this in my other mock, you need to protect Aaron Rodgers at all costs. He was sacked in 4 plays last year in week 1. Give him the protection you need. I understand you want to go Brock Bowers, but like if you want to prioritize Aaron Rodgers, the time that he has in New York Jet or the time he has with the New York Jets, give him the protection. It's necessary. This is the appropriate pick for the New York Jets. Talise Fuaga is physical. He holds his own. He has size, and he does the dirty work in the trenches. And Aaron Rodgers will really appreciate having him on his team to protect him and give him more time to get the ball down the field there. With the 11th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting edge rusher Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think this pick makes a whole bunch of sense. I mean, one of the best edge rushers in this class. This will elevate the Vikings to new heights, in my opinion. This will make the defense a lot better. Jared Verse is very efficient at getting to the quarterback. And I think like I said, he will take this defense to another level there. So I like this pick for the Minnesota Vikings there at pick 11. Pick number 12, we pretty much know where I'm going, we pretty much know where this is going here. But the Denver Broncos will be selecting quarterback J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. Obviously, they need a quarterback here. Getting rid of Russell Wilson. He just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Denver Broncos will address the quarterback situation, whether that's J.J. McCarthy or maybe Bo Nix or maybe Michael Penix Jr. Who knows? Some people have their differences with this, but I like J.J. McCarthy here at pick 12. Him and Sean Payton, I think, will work very, very well together. With the 13th overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders will be selecting defensive end Byron Murphy II out of Texas. Now, hear me out when I say this, okay? This is one of the best defensive ends in the draft, okay? Byron Murphy has the quickness. He has the size to get past his defender. He's very efficient at getting to the quarterback, very disruptive on that side of the ball. And I think this will make perfect sense for the Raiders. And you have him to pair up. I can't remember his name exactly. But Byron Murphy definitely brings another dimension to that defense. And then you could make an argument they could go quarterback here, but I think most likely they go with Byron Murphy and they go with a quarterback in the second round here. So giving that pick, I like that pick for the Raiders there, pick 13. With pick 14 here, the New Orleans Saints will be selecting tackle J.C. Latham out of Alabama. This pick makes a lot of sense. The Saints are in desperate need of a tackle. I think J.C. Latham will be able to protect Derek Carr at all costs, give him more time to throw the football down the field, and stuff like that. And he's one of the best tackles in this draft. And I think he fits in well for what the Saints want to do. And just overall, he looks like a New Orleans Saint. I just think he fits well with that team there. So I like that pick there, pick 14 for the Saints. Pick number 15, the Indianapolis Colts will be selecting tight end Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Now, you can make an argument, too, that they could go cornerback. I've heard a lot of Quinion Mitchell. I've heard a lot of Terrion Arnold, all that stuff. But if Brock Bowers is available, why not take him at this pick if you're if you're the Indianapolis Colts. This gives Anthony Richardson another target to rely upon down the field. Brock Bowers has the size after the catch, very scary after the catch. He can catch, he can get more yards after the catch, very physical. And I think he really becomes a nightmare for a lot of defenses. So I like this pick for the Colts. I think it makes sense. I think Brock Bowers and Anthony Richardson will work really well together and help each other's game. With the 16th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks will be selecting center Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. I think this pick makes a whole bunch of sense. They need help on that side of the ball at center. You can make an argument they could go with edge rusher. To improve the defense. Obviously, they're probably going to be more focused on defense, but I think in order to be efficient offensively, you got to improve in the trenches. I think Jackson Powers Johnson, with his size, just physical, just does his job and in the right spots at the right time. I think he fits in really well with the Seahawks here. Plus, he's from Oregon too. That's where he went to college. I think he fits in well with the Seahawks there. So I really like that pick there for the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, by the way, pick 13, when I said Byron Murphy, I think he matches up well with Max Crosby. So I forgot the name there, but just wanted to mention that. So him and Byron Murphy would be a heck of a duo there. But anyway, Jackson Powers Johnson at pick 16 there with the Seahawks. With the 17th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting cornerback Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. I like this pick. Quinion Mitchell has the size. He's always in the right spots at the right time. People want to knock him because of his small, skinny frame, but this dude's he's very competitive. And I think he's definitely skyrocketing a lot of people's draft boards. And I think he deserves to go inside the top 20 here with this pick. I think he improves the Jags defense tremendously as they need help in the back end. So I think he fits in well with what they want to do. And I think he will step in right away, start, and I think he'll be really successful at the next level. With the 18th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals will be selecting tackle Troy Fautanu out of Washington. You need, like what I said about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, you need to protect Joe Burrow at all costs. Okay. At the end of the day, Joe Burrow is your franchise quarterback. If you want him to stay healthy, prioritize the offensive line. I understand you want Brock Bowers. I understand if you want to go wide receiver, okay, because T. Higgins is potentially leaving or requested a trade earlier this morning, and he doesn't want to be here anymore because the Bengals decided to franchise tag him. He wants his money. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is prioritizing the quarterback. And I think Troy Fautanu, with his size, I think he's one of the best tackles in his draft. He stays upright, does his job and stuff like that. Very physical. I think he fits in really well for what the Bengals want to do on that side. So Joe Burrow will really appreciate that. And I think Troy Fautanu would fit in in this division and for what the Bengals want to do offensively if they want to be successful in terms of getting to the Super Bowl. With pick 19 here, the Los Angeles Rams will be selecting edge rusher Laiatu Latu out of UCLA. Now, you talk about the Rams being towards the bottom of the league last year in pass rush. Laiatu Latu fits in the bill what the Rams want to do on the side. I think he makes his Rams team so much better on that side of the ball. He's efficient getting to the quarterback. He's disruptive. He swarms. He finds his way to scratch, claw, whatever you want to call it, to get to that quarterback. And I think he fits in well. I think he's going to learn a lot from Aaron Donald being on that side of the ball. Him and Aaron Donald like I said, that would just be one heck of a duo right there on that side of the ball. Very, very scary times in LA if they end up getting Laiatu Latu with that pick. With the 20th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be selecting cornerback Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Hear me out on this, okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, Michael Porter or Joey Porter Jr., had a tremendous year last year. But what better way than to get Cooper DeJean to pair up with Joey Porter Jr. to make that defense more elite? Cooper DeJean's always in the right spots at the right time. He's a very versatile player. He can play cornerback. He can play safety. He can even play punt returner if you need him to. You've seen his highlights. He can pretty much do it all. There's not really much weakness in his game. people want to knock him because he's only 6'1", but like I said, this dude fits in well, and he just looks like a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think Pittsburgh would really appreciate having him on the team. I think he can make this defense even more scary, even more that elite, as they are projected to have one of the best defenses next year if they add him with that 20th overall pick. So I really like that pick for the Steelers there at pick 20. With the 21st overall pick, the Miami Dolphins will be getting their guy, Amarius Mims, tackle out of Georgia. Another pick where you need to prioritize Tua, who's most likely going to, I don't know what the deal is, if he's going to get that extension or whatever. Most likely he is. So what better way than to give him the protection that he needs? You can make an argument that they could get Jackson Powers Johnson, center. But if he's not there, Amarius Mims obviously is the guy. He's 6'8", over 300 pounds, very physical. I think he can hold his own. There's concerns where he didn't really start much last year. He only played a little bit. But I think this pick makes a whole bunch of sense for the Miami Dolphins. You got to prioritize Tua, keep him upright, keep him healthy and stuff like that. If you don't prioritize tackle in this draft, and you're only just putting Tua at more of a risk to get injured. So I like this pick for the Miami Dolphins to protect Tua at all costs if they decide to give him that long-term contract. With the 22nd overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles will be selecting cornerback Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. The Eagles need help in the back end, okay? And you look at last year, really after that that 49ers game where they got blown at home, their defense has not been the same since then. They've been getting burnt on that side of the ball. Terrion Arnold can come in there, do his job. He has the size. He has the ability to stay with the receivers and be disruptive on that side. So the Eagles need to prioritize cornerback here if they want to take that defense to another level in terms of, if they want to get to Super Bowl, they got to be better on that side of the ball. And I think Terrion Arnold can come in there and make an immediate impact to that defense. With the 23rd overall pick, the Houston Texans will be selecting wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. Another one of those picks where you got to continue to give CJ Stroud the help that he needs offensively. Continue to build around CJ Stroud going into his important second year. Brian Thomas Jr. comes in there. He has the size. CJ Stroud can rely upon him on games, at the end of the games. And I just think, like I said, just continue to build around CJ Stroud is the most important thing here. You could go defensive end here, but I just think it makes sense to continue to build around the offense, build around CJ Stroud. I just think this is the most appropriate pick here. Brian Thomas Jr. Some people have him going lower in the draft. I just think he goes a little bit higher here. I like the Texans. I think this is a good spot for him. And I think this definitely helps CJ Stroud tremendously offensively as they continue to progress going into his second year. With the 24th overall pick here, the Dallas Cowboys will be selecting tackle Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Another one of those picks where the Cowboys don't really have much of a weakness. I mean, if you watch that playoff game, yes, you could go more towards safety because watching that Packers game last year, they really got burnt all game long. Jordan Love really had a field day against that Cowboys defense. But at the end of the day, you need to protect Dak Prescott. Obviously, I think Tyler Guyton fits the bill here. I think he fits in what the Cowboys want to do as they try to make the Super Bowl run. Tyler Guyton definitely has the size to hold his own on the offensive line. Build through the trenches is what I would say. I think this is the right pick for the Cowboys at pick 24. With the 25th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers will be selecting cornerback Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. The Packers need help in the back end of the defense. You can make an argument they could get Cooper DeJean, which I think he could fall to 25. But Nate Wiggins, obviously, I think he fits in really well with the Packers defense. I think he makes their defense tremendously better. The Packers offense is already pretty good on that side. They just need a little bit of help on the back end of that defense if they want to get through the NFC next year and get to the Super Bowl. They got to improve on that side of the ball at cornerback. So Nate Wiggins comes in. I think he makes that defense even better on that side. With the 26th overall pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be selecting center Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. I think Zach Frazier is one of those guys where he comes in. He's obviously he's done wrestling and stuff like that. I think he fits in what Tampa Bay wants to do, in my opinion. They need a center, obviously, something that they desperately need. I think he comes in there. I think he could be their franchise center. Argument can be made. He's right behind Jackson Powers Johnson. I mean, those two centers are, I think they'll go in the first round, both of them, obviously. So Zach Frazier comes in. You know, you already got Mike Evans resigned there, so that's good for Tampa Bay. You got Baker Mayfield signed and all that stuff. So get a center like Zach Frazier, very physical, has size, gives Baker Mayfield all the time in the world, throw the football down the field. I mean, I think it's a win-win situation for Tampa. So I like that pick there at pick 26 for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With the 27th overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals will be going tackle Graham Barton out of Duke. One of those situations where you got Marvin Harrison Jr., got your guy at wide receiver at pick 4. Kyler Murray is pretty much going to be your guy going forward. So what better way than give him a tackle to give him time to get the ball down the field? I mean, at the end of the day, you got to protect your franchise quarterback. I think it's necessary to take a tackle here. Argument can be made. He could go second round, but I think, you know, he's one of those guys where he can protect Kyler Murray throughout the season. I think he has what it takes to hold his own at tackle, and I think Kyler Murray would really be happy to have him on his team. So Graham Barton, I like that pick for the Arizona Cardinals. Protect your quarterback at all costs, as he is the quarterback for the future. With the 28th overall pick, the Buffalo Bills will be selecting A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. The Bills need a receiver here. I mean, A.D. Mitchell, I think he fits in for what the Bills want to do offensively. I think he fits in tremendously on a Josh Allen-led offense. He's one of those guys where he has the size. He can go up, make 50-50 catches. He's very dynamic, very fast. A lot of deep balls. Watches highlights. He pretty much just does his job. He's at the right spots at the right time. I think this is a no-brainer pick. The Bills need a wide receiver. Is, like I said, they've had some issues at wide receiver last year with Stephon Diggs going MIA for most of the season. So A.D. Mitchell comes in. I think the Bills get their guy here at pick 28 from Texas. At pick 29, the Detroit Lions will be selecting Jer'Zhan Newton, defensive end out of Illinois. I think this pick makes a whole bunch of sense for the Lions, as they really, really struggled on that side of the ball last year. Defense was an issue all season long. Great offense last year, so that was it. Their offense was able to offset for what the defense couldn't do. But Jer'Zhan Newton, I think he fits the bill. I think he takes that defense to another level. Another guy that's very physical, does the dirty work, very efficient against the quarterback. I think he fits in well with the Lions here, as they desperately need help on that side if they want to get through the NFC next year and get to the Super Bowl. So they need to improve on that side of the ball if they want to get to the dance next year. And that's the Super Bowl. With the 30th overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens will be selecting wide receiver Ladd McConkey wide receiver out of Georgia. Now, hear me out on this pick. The Baltimore Ravens, I think Ladd McConkey can elevate the Ravens offense even more. Another weapon, another piece you can add to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can rely upon him. You know, you got OBJ, which I don't know if OBJ might be leaving in free agency. So I think they need to address the wide receiver position. I think Ladd can come in, and I think he can step in right away as a starter and help Lamar Jackson out tremendously. Now, you can make an argument they could go with edge rusher, or they need a running back too, but I think they'll most likely get that in the second round. I think getting a receiver here is a need for the Ravens. As like I said, we don't know if OBJ is going to be back with the team or not. So if he does end up leaving, I think you need to address that position to continue to give Lamar Jackson weapons on offense and all that stuff. The defense is already solid, in my opinion. They were the best defense of football last year. So, continue to add to the offense to give Lamar just another piece to rely upon Dude's tall, very physical, very has the length and very athletic, and he can catch. Um, just a deep threat down the field for Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Lamar loves to throw the ball down the field, so I think he fits in to the scheme and what the Ravens want to do on that side of the ball there. With the 31st overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers will be selecting edge rusher Chop Robinson out of Penn State. Hear me out on this pick. I love this pick for the 49ers because if you think about their situation, Chase Young is potentially going to leave in free agency to go somewhere else. So why not cover this position? Chop Robinson is another guy that doesn't take plays off. He gives his all on every single play. There are concerns, there are questions about Chase Young not giving effort on plays. Chop Robinson is just a different guy. I think he fits in for what the 49ers want to do on that side. He just looks like a 49er. I think the 49ers are definitely rumored to get him, and I think he fits in the bill to what they want to do on that side. And if the 49ers want to get, obviously, if they want to get to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, I think Chop Robinson can get you there. You know, very physical. Like I said, very efficient at getting to the quarterback, very disruptive. Just go watch his highlights. I think he's pretty slept on in this draft, in my opinion. You know, people have him going in the second round, but I think this dude is first round material, you know, if you really watch his highlights. So I like him at that pick with the 49ers there. And with the last pick in the first round, these two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs will be selecting wide receiver Xavier Worthy. Let me find him real quick here. Xavier Worthy out of Texas. I mean, the same situation. I mean, throughout the season, the Kansas City Chiefs had trouble at the wide receiver spot, okay? They need to address that position. Now, you could make an argument they could go offensive tackle. They could go more towards defense, but I think going wide receiver here to give Mahomes another, just a deep threat down the field. Now, there are some concerns with him. You know, people say he has trouble catching the football, but the dude is so fast. I mean, dude ran a 4.21. I mean, I just don't see how the Chiefs can pass up on him or any team can pass up on this dude. He's very fast. Basically, reminds me of Tyreek Hill, obviously. You just better hope he don't end up on Miami or something like that. Him and Tyreek Hill would just be scary. But the Chiefs here, I think they're getting a gift by getting Xavier Worthy. I think he fits in really well for what Patrick Mahomes want to do. Obviously, their goal is to three-peat and all that stuff. So Xavier Worthy can make their offense so much better if the Chiefs end up getting him. And that is going to be all for my mock draft, first round mock draft 3.0. I'm going to give you guys a little look here, my first round. I'm not going to name all of them, but this is who I believe my first round guys will go and all that stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed the video here. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe for more future videos. Make sure turn post notifications on. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. It really means a lot. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.